Hey squad, welcome back to Prepping with Sarge. Today we're going to do a review for the Rhino Rescue QF-001 First Aid Kit. We've done some reviews for Rhino Rescue First Aid Kits in the past and have been super impressed with their quality and the amount of kit that you're going to get in a little package like this. Let's take a look at this one and see what you think of it. All right, thank you for staying with me. So today, let's take a look at the QF-001. Now I'm going to show you the QR code here for Rhino Rescue Store. You can check that out. I've applied for partnership with them. So by the time this goes live, I may have a discount code. Check in the description down below. And if I do, that's where I will put it. And we're going to unbox this and see everything that's in there. Of course, you're going to get the morale patch to go with it. You could put on another piece of kit, or you of course could leave it on your first aid kit. And you're going to also get a TCCC card and a little mini first aid manual, which is going to show you how to use some of the things that are in here. And let's just go ahead and break this one down, shall we? All right, first off, out of the box, we got some MOLLE strapping on the back, and this size and weight, I will tell you right off the back, before we even look in the contents, is really good for like attaching to the back of your bug out bag or your get home bag. Not too heavy, coming in at 1.2 pounds. And let's just go ahead and check the dimensions on this thing. This is about 8 inches across and about 11.5 inches. Yeah, about 11.5 inches long. And then, of course, you want the width too. And we'll call it about 4 inches wide. Now, of course, if you add anything to this, that's going to possibly expand the dimensions just a little bit. Really solid hook and loop closure. That really had to give it a little bit of muscle to get that open, actually, which is good because you don't want it opening when you're running through a field or anything like that. All right, let's go ahead and break this all down. We got some elastic bandage. I love this stuff. I stack a lot of this in our prepper pantry. Got some combat tape or medical tape, really good. Tends to stick really well, even if it gets a little bit wet. Got a pretty decent pair of trauma shears here. And if you're working on somebody who's got a wound, you might have to cut away some clothing to get to and bandage that wound. All right, so you got a really nice Rhino Rescue tourniquet here. Now, this is up to you. What I may end up doing is attaching it to the side of the MOLLE on the back here, on the side of the bag here, because I like to have quick access for tourniquets. Definitely want to make sure you get some training on this. And for those who ask questions about the quality of the tourniquets, you can go on Rhino Rescue's site. They've done torture tests for these things. Really solid, really well made. I definitely would trust it with my life. But you can go ahead and attach that if you want, or you can leave it in the bag. It just depends. But usually if you're going to need a tourniquet, you're going to need it quick. So I'm going to put that one on the outside of my bag, I think. Really well vacuum sealed trauma bandage to cut down the size on that a little bit. Something that you're going to need if you've got a big wound or several wounds. Okay, and you've got the nasal airway. And I did see in here that there was... There we go, the nasal airway NPA. How to use this. Now I have, this is one of those things that I do need to get some training on. I've never actually been trained on how to use that, but I've been trained for just about everything else in here, including the tourniquets. I wouldn't mind doing a refresher on the tourniquets at some point. So point I'm making here is that if you are a prepper, it absolutely is your responsibility to get some first aid training and to stay on top of that. And because, you know, the research does change, and best practices, things like that, change over time. That certainly has been the case in the 25 plus years that I've worked in mental health. We usually have to get trained in first aid, and some of the ways that you do certain things, especially CPR, has changed over the past 25 years. All right, you got some PPE, personal protective equipment, some gloves there, which is always good to have some of that. You don't need to get somebody's body fluids all over you. And lubricating jelly. So this actually goes in use with that. We're going to save that right there. And what else do we got? Okay, these are awesome. Love vented chest seals. So these are, sometimes they're called, I've heard them called halo seals, although maybe that's a brand, I'm not sure. For gunshot wounds, this is typically what saved a lot of soldiers' lives overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. Really awesome. And these are generally pretty expensive because I looked at buying them separately several times from several sources. It is not easy to find those at a discounted price. You got a little permanent marker here, I believe. Yep, and that is for marking vitals, things like that. I will probably store that one with my tourniquet. All right, and then the last thing we had in there was some compressed gauze. So obviously this is a medium or large wound kit, okay? What you would add to this if you wanted to was I will probably add some small Band-Aids to this, maybe a little bit of antibiotic cream, something like that. You could also put a little bit of anti-burn gel in there. You know, you kind of customize these things a little bit to your tastes and also to your skill set, right? Like there's no sense in me having like scalpels in here if I don't know how to do surgery, right? You could add some zip stitches to this. You know, it's just really kind of depends on your skill set, what you've trained with, and what you think you might encounter. What else might we put in here? One of those splints, right? Those moldable splints. Some of their first aid kits do have those, right? So you just got to kind of think about what you want. So how am I going to customize this? Well, I'm definitely going to add some small Band-Aids to mine. Just like boo-boo Band-Aids, basically. Probably going to put the tourniquet on the outside of the pack and also the shears on the outside of the pack. That's just how I like to rig my stuff. You don't have to do it that way. So Rhino Rescue, in my opinion, is really putting out some high-quality first aid kits. I think the prepper community should get behind this. They seem to understand the needs of the prepper community and want to have that kind of partnership with us. So I'm going to be doing more work with them in the future. I'm going to be definitely talking about some more of their kits, and maybe we'll even do a little bit of, if I can get some guests, because I used to be a first aid and CPR trainer. I'm not anymore. I let that lapse, but I'm first aid and CPR trained, just not trained to be a trainer. Maybe we can get some people on here to talk about some first aid skills at some point. All right, if you've got any value out of this so far, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to check down in the description down below for links to Rhino Rescue. And if I have that discount code, I will definitely put it in there for you. And also there's links for other products that I think you might enjoy as a prepper. Keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.